Hello, everyone. This is the live discussion for the 1619 project. Um, I wanted to start reading this book, and I feel like what's been happening in the U.S. currently, it motivated me to finally go ahead and read it, but to read it slowly. So for this discussion, we're going to be talking about the preface all the way through chapter 3, um, because I could not read this book entirely in 1 month. There's a lot of info, and it can be tough to read. There's moments where I cried. There was moments where I was just heated, just so upset, and how people what goes what made them in the right mind think that everything all that's happened and still happening is still okay. So yeah.
Yes.
So I'm ready for this discussion. You have Adrian with me. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
So what I said, hi everybody. So what I said to Brandy beforehand is thank you for getting me to read this book because if you all have been in some of the lives, I was like, I don't want to read this book. I don't want to read this book. Because some books like this, I'm like, it's too much. I don't want to read it. But I really am going to this weekend buy the physical book. Listening to it is not enough.
Mhm.
I need to be able to annotate this book.
Mhm.
So thank
Hence
you again,
why
Brandy.
you're welcome. And hence why I have mine. I have mine annotated and my little keys to how I annotate. So there was a lot. So I couldn't annotate everything
Mm-hmm.
because if I kept annotating, I probably wouldn't end up finishing the sections I needed to read because it was just a lot. Let's see. Hey Jessica, how are you? Thanks for coming.
Hi, Jessica.
Hey
Hi,
Elise.
Ulysses. Hi,
Hey
Scarlett.
Scarlett, how are you? All right. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I had a disruption. Apologies. I feel that, Brandy. Yeah, but yeah. So let's get into it. So literally at the very beginning, which me and Adrian were just talking about it, how instead of calling them slaves, she said enslaved, and
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of that at all. To even think that instead of saying they were slaves, they were enslaved,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think about it too. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is the right word to say it. They were enslaved.
Mm-hmm. Give them a more human element, as
Hmm.
she was saying. It
Yeah,
was. I just never thought about it before, but
which
also
yeah, which
realizing now that we're talking about it, that the term slave was a learned term that we all learned in school. So it
mhm.
wasn't, I didn't think about, it should be a different word.
Yeah, they were still people,
Mm-hmm.
so it would be enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that with the introduction that Nicole was giving us, I thought that was nice to break down how the government is run, how it's still run today, where we're getting a lot of disadvantages within
Right.
the system. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and also how the government is still trying to make sure that Black history remains absent.
Exactly. Consistently.
Yeah, like
Consistently.
consistently, and we
Mm-hmm.
see that now in Florida with
Mm-hmm.
DeSantis, and he's making
Yep.
sure it's never taught.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And you can't have the option to even have the ability to learn it. And
Mm-hmm.
I like he's just taking every single thing away. And if you are taught this or in school and college, that's a felony. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just baffled to like how
Mm-hmm.
history, and I'll keep saying history repeats itself. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what no one says, and the only reason why it's going to keep repeating itself because we still this country hasn't learned. And I feel like us as a people, I think we just let them do it in a sense. We don't mean to, but we have a lot of power within us. And sometimes I feel like we need to take advantage of the power we have, like I feel like if the people in the US just boycotted every single thing, if just imagine if none of us, the whole country or whatever, did not go to work,
Mhm.
that I feel like that would be impactful. A lot of things would, because they need us to have the US to keep functioning.
Mhm.
I mean, if you think about what they did and how they used us for sugar,
Mm.
like which that was in what, chapter 3, when it
Yeah.
talks about the sugar and the industry.
Mhm.
And I literally kept writing in bold with my little sticky tabs, reparations, reparations, reparations,
Mhm.
because they did not care. They would, if you died off, they would find somebody else.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much money is in the sugar industry alone? We don't even have to mention cotton or
No.
whatever, or tobacco,
Mm-mm.
sugar.
Sugar. Mhm. Yeah.
And that's also what's killing us in the black community
Mhm.
is sugar.
The irony of it all. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
And how in the black communities, in the black neighborhoods, we don't have a lot of options with healthy food. You
Mhm.
see McDonald's,
Mhm.
Popeyes,
Mhm.
and that's why, especially in the black community, we have diabetes, high blood pressure.
Well, it put things in the so-called poorer neighborhoods that are mostly going to be um, blacks, but also um, other people who are not white.
Mhm,
Predominantly, them they're going to put the fast food chains, and I mean the bad fast food chains in
mhm,
terms of the oils and the fatty foods and everything. Not
mhm,
not the not the salad places, but those. Um, Trying to find fresh vegetables when you go to the supermarket. If you don't have a car, then you're gonna use whatever is there,
right,
because the supermarkets that are in your neighborhood are not that good.
right.
Um, then you have plenty of liquor stores.
Mhm. Like on every corner.
And now people talking about the weed stores too. So you got that.
Yeah. And
Come on.
I was just like with chapter 3, sorry, I went all the way up to chapter 3, but
Mhm.
it just bothered me so much how much our ancestors built for this
Mhm.
country, and they have not received not one dime. Not one.
Mm-mm. Not even thinking about giving them one dime.
No.
One dime. And I mean, when we talk about, okay, I know we're talking about chapter 3, but different things, and we're probably gonna be jumping around anyway. But
Mhm.
when I think about the man who um, just finished his tour and left the services, had his uniform on,
Mhm.
and got off of the bus, and the white cops were there and beat him in
Mhm.
the head, and he wakes up the next morning, he's blind and never was able to see again.
Yeah.
um, and all the talk that they had about in proof that
Mhm.
people, that servicemen went to fight for a country that didn't care about them,
Yeah.
and came home back to that with no respect.
Yeah. Like it talked.
And
Yeah.
how much harder that was, and how some of them, if they didn't stay here, if they stayed here, they were lynched,
Mhm.
killed in other ways, or they found some way to go back overseas and not come back
Right.
because
Like
they were treated better overseas than they were here.
a lot of them, especially like they, some of them chose to stay
Mm-hmm.
because it was where they came from. It was hell. But
Mm-hmm.
where they was, when they were
Mm-hmm.
fighting, they saw how better it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, even like one of our, like Tina Turner and stuff, there are a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
popular people that we know in Black history who are actresses.
Nina Simone.
Yes, Nina Simone,
Mm-hmm.
um, James Baldwin
Mm-hmm.
left to
Mm-hmm.
go overseas because
Mm-hmm.
it was terrible over here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it bothers me so much how people like
I mean, they interviewed Tina Turner. I actually saw the video It's so funny that you said that last week,
Mhm.
and this was a video from like maybe a year or two ago,
Mhm.
and they were like, and the person said, "So you're visiting your?" She said, "No, I live here." And
Right.
she said, "My man lives here. I live here."
Mhm.
She said, "In Germany, my home is in Germany. My home is in Zurich."
Mhm.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, lay it out, lay it
You
out.
denounced your
She
citizenship.
said, she said, I'm not coming back to the
Yeah.
States. Mm-mm. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching her documentary and how she said she was never coming back. The last time she was here was in 2019.
And she said she makes more money
Yeah,
then than she does. And I'm like, mm-hmm,
because they don't care about us. They make sure, like, even to get a house or anything, they make sure we get less money
mm-hmm,
offered. They do it intentionally. And
mm-hmm,
like when it talks about how the married couple, I think the woman was Indian and then the man was from Ghana, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, and they were trying to get their marriage license. And they didn't want to fill in a box identifying what race they were.
mm-hmm,
And they didn't even want to put other either because that's no, they're human. You don't just put
mm-hmm,
other. And it made a great point of how we are constantly having to check a box for anything to apply for something.
mm-hmm,
And I don't like that. I don't like this system. And also how it says like what did it say? I forget. Let me go in here. I was like, wait, that was a good point. It's like it's only been only 50. What did they say in there? Let me look because that put me. It made me think. It's like only 50 years we've been legally free.
mm-hmm. Yes.
I
I was
was
like,
like,
I said, what?
what?
I said, rewind.
I'm 30.
Mm-hmm,
When
mm-hmm,
you have that number, when somebody puts a number in it like
mm-hmm,
that, that lets you know how like effed up this country is.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I see like see I like I
We
need
could have been deported. And then
right
just like, mm-mm.
50 years. 50 years. That is not a long time.
No, that was just yesterday.
Not a long time.
Mm-mm.
And it's just and the thing is they use us. They've been using us from the very beginning to now. Use us for sugar, tobacco, cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Use us women and our wombs
Mm-hmm.
to
And consistently do that.
yes,
All the women that are dying.
to help with their production of what they
Mm-hmm.
were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they openly they had no remorse just to rape
Mm-hmm. And how
saying that they
the
could.
different things, the different cases went to court, and it didn't mean anything because they
It
were like,
was
well, you you're
your
enslaved,
property.
so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
your property.
Your property,
you're
your
not
property. So you're not you were not raped.
right. They treated women like cattle. But
Now, as someone else who was not your owner.
like if a yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they could be penalized or whatever for it.
Mm-hmm. And how there was a white man that was whipped because he had sex with a black woman. But
Mhm.
when another white man got a black woman pregnant, she
Mhm.
was caned or whipped,
Mhm.
and he was ostracized or something.
Yeah, and then the child got sold.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they really displaced everyone. They took
And then is the child considered black or considered other? And that went on and
that
on.
it went on and on and on because at first they're
Mm-hmm.
saying if the father, was white or whatever, technically
Mm-hmm.
it was they would be
Mm-hmm.
considered white. But then
Mm-hmm.
they kept going back and forth like, no, 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 who, no,
Mm-hmm.
has to be based off of the condition of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
So they were contradicting themselves
Uh-huh.
just to try to put something together
Mm-hmm.
that didn't make
Yeah,
sense.
making laws to make themselves still be higher.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sorry, y'all. Let me get into these comments. Definitely keep Black History quiet. Yep. And there's some things that
Thank you.
some things I'm still like I'm learning from this book. Oh man, said D. If we don't know our history, it'll happen again. Hence, nothing new under the sun. Right.
Exactly.
And I feel what, what can, I don't know. Sometimes I think, what can we do as a people? But then again, we are also getting divided because I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
structure of this country is causing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when I read about that, I was like, I don't want nothing with sugar. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yes. Because while I remember learning about the sugar industry, I didn't realize it was still so big in this country now. Yeah, that they're thriving off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they talked about the production of sugar and everything that they have to do, I was just crazy. Being in the heat,
Mm-hmm.
it, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And then it brings up Thomas Jefferson, and I'm like, I started rolling my eyes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I started rolling my
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
How they talk about the beginning of this country when the majority of the presidents who in the beginning were slave owners.
Right, and I'm
And I'm
thinking,
like, yeah, that's not something that you read about in the textbooks. That's something I found out as an adult.
to myself, why are these racist bastards on our money still?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we still have pictures of them everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, like, we've taken down some statues and stuff, but the presidents need to be included as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like like literally like raping. Mm. It was
Mm-hmm.
sad. It was sad and hard for me to read because my sister, she's also been doing some research about it, and she
Mm-hmm.
mentioned how in our family there was, I don't know which president, but we were related.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And some for some reason I feel like I think it was Jefferson, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I want to do my research. He was having kids after kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking to myself, the wives obviously didn't care.
Well, it
Like,
doesn't matter if they didn't care. Their
yeah,
fathers were doing the same thing too. So it was a way
right.
of,
It was a norm, I
it
guess.
was a norm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even saying that's a norm is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Why they would go do all that?
Yeah. And they didn't have any rights either. So it's like even if they did say something, then what,
Mhm.
you get in trouble with your husband and your father
Right.
and your brothers if you had, if you had brothers.
So at that time, it was a man's world,
Truly,
white man's
it
world,
was truly a white man's world.
and they're trying to get it back to that
Mm-hmm.
what it looks like. And then I just how they said how when they this like the ships and stuff and how they were put in there and how they I didn't know that the men and women were separated.
I seem to recall that, but when saying that the chains and how certain body parts were cut off because of how they were shackled together and how rough it was, I was like, ugh, I knew conditions were horrible,
Hmm.
but to
But
just hear some of that was just horrible.
yeah, I have to agree with Chef for whatever reason. If it is an academic space or term, I can refocus in a way where I articulate points differently. I take in the pain, but it's compartmentalized. Okay.
Mm,
I knew much of what was in the first three chapters. It was more of me saying, yep, 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 yeah,
mm-hmm,
same Ulysses. But there were lots of little things on the more positive aspect I didn't know. Yeah, not a damn penny or the respect deserved. Yeah. Can you imagine how much money they would owe the people?
mm-hmm. Yes, Jessica, I did forget about that, but yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That reminded me of the last year's Black Upon and one of the movies we watched about the topic. Mm.
Mm,
Correct in Germany and France specifically during World War. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yep, Josephine Baker.
Josephine Baker. Thank you. I
Yep,
was just
I was
like,
thinking
I
she was,
could
she
not
was in
think
my
of her
head.
name to
I
save my
couldn't think of her
life.
name. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bree.
Hey,
Okay.
Bree.
Maybe I should say your face, but you know what I mean. But, yeah, self-corrected. Sheesh. I recently went to see Tina Turner musical after documentary. Definitely understood how much she was loved overseas. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Everything is race based here. Why do we need to tell our race for or anything? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
imagine that child. Yep. You too. Pregnant women and declared as property and not their heirs, so they weren't entitled to their lands. Yeah, they were entitled to nothing. And even after they ended slavery, they had nowhere to go, so they went back
Mm-hmm.
to still work.
Because they had nowhere to go.
Right. Listen, is the relationship with Frederick Douglass and Aaron Lincoln for me? Oh yeah, yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what he said. I had it in here. That quote that Frederick Douglass has said. It said no, it was W. E. Du Bois. It said the
Mm-hmm.
slave went free, stood a brief moment in the sun, then moved back again towards slavery because they had nothing else to go
Nowhere else to
to.
go.
They had nowhere
Yeah.
else to go, so they had
Nowhere
to.
else to go.
They didn't have no options.
Mm-hmm.
They had no home. Literally, when they came here, they weren't. They were enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Yeah.
no foundation for them to go to. Nowhere.
And I think about the book that I read for Walter's Corner,
Mhm.
and the person that I did not know anything about, hold on, which was her. Yeah, Elizabeth Freeman,
Mhm.
who in the 18th century she was like the most successful abolitionist of the time, and she
Mhm.
was raised in Massachusetts, so that's above the Mason Dixon line.
Mhm.
So you're thinking, oh, she's free. No,
Mhm.
she thought she was free after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. She said, well, that has to be me. I wasn't free before because she was
Mhm.
enslaved, right? We're
Right.
using the word enslaved now.
Mhm.
So she was, and I'm looking at my notes. So the after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, she was like, well, that must mean that I'm free too, because it's saying everybody. So,
Right.
I'm thinking it's me. And then from that, Massachusetts signed their own, declaration, their own constitution,
Mhm.
and she got together with a attorney who I'm assuming was white, um, and between the both of them arguing about it and you know giving their thoughts about it in the court, the court agreed with them, and not only agreed with them, but said that according to the Massachusetts Constitution, slavery
Mhm.
was illegal
Mhm.
in the state. And I'm like, that's huge for the 18th century.
Right.
That's huge. I'm like, what a victory for her and her attorney for that
Mhm.
time frame.
Right.
And that brought me back when I was reading, listening to this book. It brought me back to that. I was just like, oh,
Yeah. And the fact that there were people that were free, but they would capture them and bring them
mm-hmm,
down south to work.
mm-hmm. And I did know about that previously, but
Yeah, I knew about that too, but it just
it angers me.
man,
Angers me.
how
Yeah.
do you I can't imagine like thinking that way of seeing people that are different from me and thinking like, "Oh, let's just use them as cattle."
Mm-hmm,
Like I said, they were no, that would just complete devils to me.
mm-hmm.
No, with no soul.
Now, I saw something recently, and I don't know what movie that is, whether it's out or it's going to be out. And it's a movie where there's a black woman who escapes a plantation,
Mhm.
but she's in modern times, and it's based off on a true story. I don't remember. I only saw it one time, And so
Was it with the?
literally like the trailer, and I was like, oh,
How old is the movie?
I thought it was coming out. So
Oh,
I don't.
it's new. Okay,
I thought it was
I'm not
coming
sure.
out. And they have to tell her this this is not going on now. You know, she's never seen a car before. She runs away and she sees a car going by, and she's like, "What is that?"
Mm.
Because everything is like she's on the plantation, horse and buggy, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back to kill the guy once she finds out everything.
I don't know.
And I'm like,
There's
oh,
been a lot of similar movies, sort of like that, but only one that I've watched like that was like with Janelle Monáe. How
hmm,
she was in the modern world, but then they took her somewhere else, where they created their own little world where the black people weren't, they were enslaved
mm-hmm,
and living it up like this is the norm. So I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't that one because it
Yeah.
was she was not in it. So
Mm. Yeah, I promise you they cared. They just found different ways of pushing their husbands' lovers. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes the wives would probably they found ways to punish
mm-hmm,
the person too. Thomas Jefferson admitted slavery was wrong, and once it was abolished, the whites would pay, and it is warranted. Yeah, I read it that he was trying to change a little bit. Or no, that was actually Abraham Lincoln. He was trying to change. Thomas Jefferson had Sally, who was black, knocked her up. President with multiple women. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Punishing. Marinette was weaving in and out and causing my letters to stick. Oh, sorry. Yes, he also didn't know about Lincoln meeting those men and saying we should basically go back to Africa. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Well,
didn't know
people to
about
this
that.
day say that. Like I saw the
Mm-hmm,
clip of I forget it was some type of meeting regarding critical race theory. I think maybe people seen it. It's been on TikTok. It's been on IG.
mm-hmm,
We see one woman calling a black man go back to your country. Then we saw a white man hovering over a child arguing with her. It was just yeah, it's getting bad. Where I feel like now is the time we actually have to fight this time around,
mm-hmm.
which I'm always going to say I know there's going to be a war somewhere with someone. I don't know who, but there's going to be a war here on US soil. It's going to happen again. It's just we don't
Some
know.
people are saying we're already in a war.
Yeah. I just think
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're in a war, but I feel like we have to all come together to win it.
Yeah.
We got to come together. In California right now, they're saying 800 million. Yes, D, right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I see that California is trying to do that reparations,
Mm-hmm.
but only for San Francisco. Yeah, but man, it says, can you imagine like the wealth that we would as as the black community would get? Well, California calculated that they are in the 800 billion in reparations for the black folks there. Mm. One thing I got from this that I appreciate is that we can also look at all of this what we built. Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like
The design of DC was by
and
a
there's
black
no
man.
type of credit.
So many things.
They don't give
Mm-hmm.
us no type of credit
Mm-mm.
for building every single thing, for creating these industries that they have,
Mm-hmm.
that they're able to have generational wealth. Well, whereas we should have had the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're profiting off of what we've created.
right.
You're living in what we created.
Mm-hmm.
You're using what we created.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we created this country. We created a culture anew. We fought for equality and respect for everyone when we could have had everything changed just for us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. Alice Wiki. Isn't that out already?
Oh, is that what it
I
is?
saw it. It's on Hulu, I think.
Okay. Maybe that is what it is. Because I think she was in it.
Yeah,
Yes, so she was in it when I think about it now.
Alice is so good. She was a
Okay.
enslaved in the 70s.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that one. Yeah, I think it's on Hulu now that I remember.
Yeah, I just happened to see, on TikTok. I just happened to see a like trailer for it. And I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. That was Antebellum. They recreated slavery for fun, like the book 40 Acres. Yeah,
Mm,
Antebellum wasn't a good movie. Yeah, I watched it, but I don't know. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Yeah, everyone wants to hold Abraham Lincoln as this savior, but he
mm-hmm,
truly is not. No, he is
mm-hmm,
not. And I feel like when I was in high school, they still made him be portrayed as the savior.
mm-hmm,
Like he ended slavery and he had his own agenda. It
mm-hmm.
wasn't for us.
No.
All the everything that is written, all these laws, all of these the constitution was not written for us. And they found ways where it wouldn't be for us
Mm-hmm.
in the wording that was
Yep.
used. All men created equal, we weren't considered human.
No,
It's ugh, man.
we weren't part of that equation.
Nope. Can you imagine the shambles this country would be in if we had or we did? So I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now we need to make some waves. Uh, and I know people are scared. Like I was talking to Brie about this when we were talking about Babel, for instance, um but if I know people are scared to like stop going to work because they're in fear of not taking care of their families. But I feel like if we all come together as a whole, especially in this country, and we help each other, but not help the people that that are keeping
Mm-hmm.
us down, it will make a big difference. You know, I don't know. I just I feel like something big has to happen, and we have to attack their wallets, their money. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that is,
That's the only thing that they're gonna pay attention to.
right? It's if we come for their money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how and when can we all come together to do it? An actual civil war is brewing. Yep. And I think that's why we see all this gun violence and how a lot of white people have these guns. I forget if it was a senator or whoever had a picture of his family
Yes,
with the guns.
from Tennessee. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the
I'm like, how is that a Christmas picture? Why?
and I'm like, you think that's okay?
Mm-hmm. What a part of that is okay?
And that's
Why is
and
that
that's
okay?
another industry that they are making money off of.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're not trying to get rid of these guns.
Mm-hmm.
They rather go talk about TikTok rather than talk about real issues
Mm-hmm.
as far as babies being killed at
Mm-hmm.
school where they should feel safe. It's like their only priority is for themselves and themselves alone. They do not care about us. I feel like eventually when people start realizing that, I feel like maybe eventually things will happen where we make decisions as far as how we should go about things in this gun violence. It's just crazy to me. You can't come together when you have so many who don't even realize we're in a war. Yeah, there's some people who
Mm-hmm.
are just in the clouds and they just don't know.
They have complete blinders on.
Right. Hey Maya, I sent you a link if you wanted to join.
Hi, Maya.
Nicholas Wall was the woman who was still enslaved in modern day. She transitioned in 2014. The movie you're thinking about is called Alice. I decided to stop trolling. I'm listening as I work. Oh, gotcha. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's on HBO. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely on Hulu if you have HBO and stuff. Yeah, yep, welcome. She ain't got it. The
Mm-hmm.
USA broke. I'm not expecting money, but it's apparently too much to ask to be treated with dignity and respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's we want that. Want to be treated equally. And I feel like that's not ever gonna happen. It's 2023. I don't know. There's progress, but it seems like from this progress is slow. Or you got people that were, trying to make sure that we go back to how
Mm-hmm.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna be indicted. So
On Tuesday, he was already indicted. On
yeah,
Tuesday, he's being
yeah,
arraigned.
he's indicted. It's just how many I forget how many charges is on there, but
Yeah, Tuesday he's going to be arraigned. I'm just glad I don't live because I live on Manhattan Island. I'm glad I don't live
because
downtown
because
where the court
people are
is.
probably out there going crazy talking about Trump is innocent. That's probably a dangerous area.
Oh, and DeSantis, I'm not um extraditing. I'm not extraditing him. No one asked you to.
He can, man.
No one asked you to. And since when does a state extradite?
Oh my god, I'm over his dumbass. Oh my god, but that goes. These, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, these laws,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't. They were made for them to protect
Mm-hmm.
them, not us. And it's just crazy how we are following these laws that are written by slave owners and racist assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another problem with this country. Why are we still following these laws? Why is it,
Because they're too good to let go for too many people.
if you really want everything to be equal, for everyone to be considered equal, you need to burn these documents and start a new country where we are together as a whole, as a people, where the Black community is considered human beings, where we all get things equally. But then I'm asking too much, aren't I? I guess that's too much to ask for. That was a wild read. The mental gymnastics this rich white man went through to keep the money coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about money. That's
Mm-hmm. The
oh,
mighty dollar.
man, the clip that I put on IG with Brad Pitt and whoever, he was like, America is not a country, it's a business. It is a business. It's a business. Yeah, thank you. Peace to you. A fluffic symbol to end all fluffic symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That is the money, but the dollar is low, so they're gonna make it America against everybody, not civil war internally. Yeah. It's weird how every other country has rewritten their constitution several times to adjust with the changes or the modern times. They continue to rewrite or amend. This country doubles down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because they won't admit it, but they still want to be in power.
Mm-hmm.
They won't say, I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure there is somebody that has said it, but none of us caught it. They still want to be in power.
Oh yeah.
They really talking about TikTok because Petro and Saudi and backing China, but I digress. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Somebody brought up to me like, what if they would they even consider bringing the draft back? I'm like, you think people are gonna go willingly if they
Yeah,
introduce?
that's been talked about before. That's been talked about before.
That's when definitely war gonna start. Not this generation. We ain't just gonna go just because you picked our name out of a.
But you still do have pockets of, I think about where one of my classmates live.
Mm,
She lives in a place, I'm not going to say the state, but she
mhm,
lives in a place where they're surrounded by different bases from different um, branches.
mm,
And so 90% of the high school kids go to the services in black, white,
mhm,
Spanish. I'm guessing that they might have some Asian kids there too, because it's more in a rural place in one of the southern states.
mhm,
Um, but they'll go to college afterwards, but they go to the service first.
mhm.
And so I know that's not the only place in
Yeah,
the United States like that. Um, whereas a lot of the cities, you won't find it like that.
yeah. Man, the problem
I'll
with.
just say major cities.
Mhm.
You won't find that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jessica. The problem with that is that it requires sticking together and supporting one another, and we aren't great at that. Remember, there are so many of us still trying to get close to whiteness. That too, because that was considered the right thing. Like it was bad to be black and stuff. So they made it seem like being white was the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially when it came to our hair, the best thing was to have our hair straightened. And
Yeah.
I feel like some of us just got brainwashed in it all. And I feel like with the industry now, with how things are going, I mean, they still promote that. There's still some people that do promote our hair being natural, I will say, which I do like and love that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still, the industry is just messed up. They still feel like having lighter skin is the best thing. It's just industries like that that really just messes with us in our community.
And then you have some families who they treat people differently based on the color of their skin too, which
Yeah,
is
like colorism is like all rooted from how this country was built and how they made us feel about ourselves.
hmm and it's not just
I feel like we're
colorism is not just in the I'll just say the African diaspora
yeah, it's in
because I have a friend who's Guyanese Indian and the things that I know from her and from some other people and seeing some of the documentaries I've seen about Indians straight from India, it's like, whoa.
yeah,
And bleaching of the skin, just like they do in some places in Africa. Um, yeah. And
like
all that comes from, because they were colonized, all that comes from that too.
they went everywhere. You
Mm-hmm.
had England, they were going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's just after England abolished slavery, America was still trying to figure out a way to still get their money.
Mm-hmm.
So they went around them and found ways to still get more people to enslave. That whole industry just messed up this entire world.
Yeah.
It just created so much problems, especially in Africa. If you think about what they did, like when Germany came up in there, if you think about Rwanda and the Hutu and the Tutsi, the people in Germany, they did that to them, divided
Mm-hmm.
them that way.
Yeah.
Ugh, man. Mm-mm-mm. All because people just wanted money. Oh, good gracious. The progress is hella slow. Yes, it is. 34
Mm-hmm.
charges. Nora Mama says it's been slower her whole damn life. She'll be 70 this year. Man. Sometimes I want to feel like I wish there was this, what can we do as a people? But when we need to come together, and right now we're not together. And I keep bringing this up. I wish there was some person. Just I feel like if there was one person we all just truly believed in, maybe we could come together. But I don't know. We're all broken.
Yeah.
We're broken. And it's sad. We dealt with trauma, everything from the past and how it affects our families now. And they made sure that we remain broken. And that's what pisses me off the most.
Yeah. Anything that they can do
To keep us just
to
stagnant.
keep us down. And then you have some of us who are stupid to realize, and I'm saying that because when I think about certain people with our last president, and I'm like, come on,
Hmm.
come on.
Yeah. Just I can't. And then like when they realized like after, they whatever they, Declaration of Independence and that people were free or whatever, they still found ways to not only attack the black community but attack uh black kids and black young women by sterilizing them.
Mm-hmm. And didn't find a problem with it either.
No. Like they would find a family that was less fortunate and the parent would sign off even, and they did not know how to read either.
Right.
And they would just make them sign something and then they would sterilize their children. And
And you
like,
know that's still going on
yes.
because when I read about when ICE was grabbing all the Spanish people, all the people from Mexico, and they
Mm,
were doing the same thing with the Mexican women, I was just like, oh my God,
mm-hmm,
did we not learn? Oh, yeah, we did learn, but we're doing this on purpose, right?
mm-hmm. Like in a book that I read last year, it talks about it brings up the story like in 1973 with the two the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old girl. It's called I read it last year. It's called Take My Hand. It's
Mm-hmm.
by Dolan Perkins Valdez. It talks about that story of how there was a black nurse and she was sent over to pretty much sterilize these children, sterilize these girls, even when one didn't even start have her period yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the books I really enjoyed that book, and I recommend anybody to read it because it shows you how this country still works this way.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because now they sterilized us and now they're making us have more babies.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
You find that odd all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden?
Mm-hmm.
I found that odd.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, who's gonna be taking care of these babies? You
Mhm.
already got so many kids in the foster system now.
Right. Right. The nature of people of color is community, tribe, building, so we usually try to work with others to get a larger tribe instead of protecting the interests of our current tribe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Right. Shut up, DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
State will if needed. If Trump refused to come back to New York, the government of Florida would arrest and bring him to New York. But Trump wants the show. He definitely is going.
Oh, he's going.
Yeah,
He's going.
he's
That gives him a chance to pontificate.
mm. It shakes the foundation they claimed it was built on. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
America's a business. It's none of my business. Right. I like the idea that we are forcing this country to live up to its written ideals. Mm-mm-mm. Not in power. They already have the power. Yeah. They're just trying to keep it or to remain. They are afraid to lose the power because they are close to losing it. Yeah. And we need to take it away from them. Oh, hell no. The previous generations dealt with the last draft and hated it. Yeah. My uncle, he was supposed to be drafted because he was the oldest out of my, yeah, out of, yeah, my dad's the youngest. And he didn't get drafted only because he went to the ROTC, and so he was able to stay for some reason, from what my dad and my
Mm-hmm.
uncle told me. But my brother-in-law's dad, he was drafted. He came back, and then years later, he had cancer from Nam,
Mm-hmm.
and it was from Agent Orange,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't
chemical
talk about that either.
yeah, chemical warfare,
Mm-hmm.
and how they would put the black officers in the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
All the all of them were in the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
But no one talks about that either, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I didn't let my cousin who we had custody of. He's in college now. He
Bree.
he's like, if this so starts prison. Oh my god, no, no. But it's just I was scared for him to go into the service. I just
Mm-hmm.
I wish I just was, after things that a lot of people have their own experiences, but from the history of how they treat black people going into the service, it just made me not want him to go. Even though he
Mm-hmm.
still says he's probably gonna still go, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
I was scared for him. Bree's feeling better. Yes, she is.
Yes. Can you tell?
Thank you, Jessica. Right there. We aren't sprinting. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
don't get me started on the natural hair movement turned industry. Yeah. Gotta
Mm-hmm.
have a certain curl pattern. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Colorism is still real, true. And let's not forget the people you know who are black but adamantly refuse to date black people. I'm not all for interracial dating. I'm all for
Mm-hmm.
interracial dating when you've never dated inside your race.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's what I keep saying. We as a people, we are
Mm-hmm.
broken right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are divided amongst ourselves, and I
Yeah.
think before we can fight the big fight, we got to we got to come together and
Mm-hmm.
understanding. But but all those years of being knocked down, beaten, some people did were killed. Lynch. It's just
Mm-hmm. What did you all think about Brandy and I talked about this a little bit
mhm.
before we went live. What did you all think about the Phyllis Whitley um, letter that the person wrote? That just took me out.
I
That
was
just took
I
me out.
was crying. I was crying. I had moments in here when I was like, I still have like tear stains in the book because I had to put the book down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I had to. I'm trying to find it because I tabbed it. I have a lot of tabs on here, but where is it? I got it all tabbed up, and I'm like, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think which section it was in because that broke my soul into
It was
pieces.
right before chapter 4, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me go back.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm looking at the table of contents, so it's right before chapter 4.
Okay. Oh yes, yeah. Proof, dear Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Mm, mm. Hurt my soul.
Yeah.
1619 is so deep. It has you questioning all the decisions made to make this a great country. It does. It does. I have my mimosa ready for my Friday night, my first night being able to function. Well, go ahead and drink your mimosa.
Yes,
Drink.
please do.
Mama Nora is not wrong. I just had to ask. Grass, you deserve it.
Sure does. She
So
sure does.
feeling better? Yeah, she's feeling much better, y'all. We are. We need more than one or two. We truly have to be selfless to stand in these roles to progress us along. Yeah. And they're trying they no, they are. They're not trying. They are making sure that we don't progress. You see what they're doing as far as making sure our history is not being taught now.
We don't vote. All the different things.
Yeah. And even if we try to vote, they make sure that like I forget what happened. I think it was in Georgia or whatever during the election where there were elderly people and they usually would vote down the street, but they said they couldn't vote there anymore and their
Mm-hmm.
location was what 45 minutes away. And it was
Mm-hmm.
hard and they couldn't vote until they were able to fix it because a lot of these governors and stuff they're trying to change it up where they are trying to make sure we don't vote
Mm-hmm.
and make it hard
Well,
for
it's
us.
not just there. It happened here in
It
New York
happened
City.
everywhere, it seemed
It
like.
happened everywhere. People think that it doesn't happen in the blue states. It does.
Mhm.
It does. I remember, um, was it the first time or second time that Barack Obama ran for president? We had a huge problem in Brooklyn. Huge
Mm.
problem in Brooklyn. And if you've been in New York City, Brooklyn is the largest borough.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the number of people, a lot of them were black, but there were people who were not black. There were people who were white who were
Mm.
livid because they're like, this is where I'm supposed to vote. I have my information. This is where I'm supposed to vote. Why are you telling me that I don't vote here anymore? I didn't get a notification. So guess what? I'm going to vote here. That's not happening. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, goodness.
This the stuff that happened before. They stopped people from voting. They would
Mm-hmm.
create these stupid rules or whatever in order
Mm-hmm.
to vote
Mm-hmm.
and terrorize you if you did vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, Bree. You ready to show out? You definitely feel better. Divide and conquer, the gift that keeps giving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Over and over,
Yep.
generation to generation.
Mhm. Okay, Bree with the mimosas. Dang, y'all, I'm the only one wanting sprints. He's supposed to have my back. Let me not schedule sprint Sunday. Oh my gosh. No.
We'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Schedule some sprint Sunday. Gee, such a sad story. Very good.
Yeah.
Texas will pay for women birth control, but won't give parents Medicaid. No lie. They have a low income state plan for women, but only for PAPs and birth control.
Mm-hmm. Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Back then they had a hard time trying to get together their own laws so that it made
Mm-hmm.
sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting what they do for Black women having kids or trying to prevent kids, or the treatment that Black women
Mm-hmm.
go through. Like I remember when I was giving birth to my oldest son, and one of the nurses, she kept hurting me, and I told her she was hurting me, and she said, "No,
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to take it." And I'm thinking to
Mm-hmm.
myself, what you mean? I should be able to take it?
Mm-hmm. The nerve.
And then I told Keandre, no, she's not allowed in my room. And Keandre said, I got you, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the nerve.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
No, I understand. They're just cruel and evil people in this world
Mm-hmm.
that run this country.
Yeah.
They they know where all these missing Black girls and Black boys are.
Mm-hmm.
They know.
They know exactly where they are.
Mm-mm-mm. Fear of us outnumbering them has now been shifted to keeping us uneducated and unmotivated to achieve. Right. And they made sure that they were incarcerated too.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure. Sprint, sprint, sprint. I'm done. It took me out, all the way out. I
Yeah.
read that just a few hours ago. Sad but not surprised. Yeah, I think I was talking
Mm-hmm.
about Phyllis. Yeah, it was Georgia. Yeah, every state it happens, they are closing access to polls to make it more difficult to vote. Texas is horrible with it as well. I don't like people having this so much power over us. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't. It makes me nervous. It makes me think, okay, what's going to happen next? Because all this stuff that they're doing, it's crazy. They're all trying to do this all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what are y'all really afraid to lose the power, or are you afraid that you're losing the power to us? Like, what are you afraid of? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
afraid of us? We don't ask for much. We just asking to be treated as equal and to get the reparations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't want us to have generational wealth either. Like,
No, because
we just
you have
want to
to be
live.
down here.
We
You
just want
can't
to
be
live
up
a
here. You got
life.
to be down here.
We just want to live our lives and try to get past all the trauma that are that has been passed down through generations.
Mm-hmm.
We want peace. You know, our ancestors worked their asses off for y'all, and you still trying to just keep
Mm-hmm. The
pulling us
status
down.
quo. The
Yeah,
status quo.
I'm over it. I'm tired of it. And it's crazy because my parents, they just seem so lax about it. Like they're not angry. And my parents, they were born 1955.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, aren't y'all angry? And they're like, no. You know. I was like, do y'all care? They're like, not really. I'm like, what you mean? And I'm like, why am I more angry than you? And you lived it. And I know you had to experience something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. And I just
Yeah.
think about the future of my kids at this point. What do their futures
Mm-hmm.
look like?
Yeah.
And it's actually scaring
Exactly.
me for how this country is going and how they're
Mm-hmm.
doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me want to leave this country. It really
Mm-hmm.
does. It really
Yes, like I really would like to move to a warmer climate in the States, but I'm like, what does that mean? Because um
you're gonna go somewhere.
having a conversation with somebody in my family, they're like, yes, Adrian, but can you deal with the politics? I said, yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue I'm having.
Hmm.
Like the weather in Florida is great, but I'm not dealing with the politics.
I'm not dealing with that. Even like
I'm
people
not
are
dealing.
saying, like, be careful when you go down there now
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's on edge.
Yeah.
If I leave Ohio, it's gonna be to a different country. I won't move nowhere else because no, I won't. I can't move anywhere else in the states. I just can't. I like just think about what they're doing with Mississippi and Jackson,
Yeah. Um,
bringing the
historically,
Jim Crow
Mississippi is
back.
not a place I'd want to live anyway. But yeah.
Like you see how it's just like we're gradually going back to the
Mm-hmm.
past, gradually, and people don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. I'm like, come on, y'all need to wake up.
But when you don't teach it,
That's another thing. Yeah,
you're bound to repeat it.
true, true. Are you working through 1619 one chapter per week? If so, I'll need to get it caught up. I should have read it a long time ago actually. So we're reading, so for this month we just read the preface all the way up through chapter 3, and then the next month, hold on, let me get my stuff together. And then the next month we're reading chapter 4 through chapter 7. So in April. Well, tomorrow is April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're reading it slowly because it's a lot to process, and I just know I couldn't read as much because that my blood pressure going up. Like I would just end up. I was already heated reading this, so I just thought a slow read would be a better thing. So they are afraid that we will do that, do what they are doing and having done to them. But we wouldn't. I don't see us doing that.
I don't think that's what they're afraid of. I think they just don't want us to have. They just don't want us to have the power.
They still treat us. They still look at us like we're not human beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
They like to be over us. They like that.
Yeah. Yep.
They see it as an advantage.
Yep. It means the ghetto. I honestly think we can apply for asylum in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Bree brought that up. I don't know. I just been really thinking about it a lot, and I normally haven't like last year or whatever. I didn't think about it, and I'm thinking about it a lot. Where I just want to move to a different country to give my kids a better shot because I feel like they're already at a disadvantage. They're not even grown yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because they're black, and immediately they're identified as this. And I hate that where everything we sign up for, we have to identify our race. Why is that? Why do you have to know what I identify? I don't know. I don't know. I would love to live the country. I don't care. Leave the country. I don't care if it's cold or what the weather is. Blacks is real. Black folks are leaving America. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man. Where will we where will we go? For me, I don't know where I would go. Switzerland looks nice.
I really liked Geneva, Switzerland when my sister was there. It was nice, but I don't know about being there
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah, I am.
Winter. But it was so clean you can eat off of the ground.
Yeah. Like I thought about Switzerland and I'm like, I just want to live in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to live happy. I don't have to worry about bills on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about no damn credit score just so I can get a
Mm.
bigger plate. Like I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to have to live my life
Live
like
like that. Mm-hmm.
like because that's what this country wants us to feel, just to constantly work, 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 pay bills, and we're
Mm-hmm.
broke every single time we get a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised the perspective other countries have on this country. I know they feel we're trash. I know they feel like we're pieces of
Yeah.
trash.
And um, a lot of our white counterparts play into that when they act crazy when they go overseas.
Yeah. My wife says when someone's standing on your back, they see the passive act of attempting to stand up straight as a sign of aggression against them. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. They're always on our backs.
Mm-hmm.
Always. They don't want us to like I said, they don't want us to stand up straight. Mississippi will always be burning. Yeah.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
No truer words have been spoken.
Mhm. The states are not perfect, but it is better than other countries. Go outside the states for a while and you will kiss the ground upon reentry.
I don't know about that. I know someone who moved to um, London, England, because of her husband's job.
Mhm.
She ended up getting a job there. They're not thinking about coming back.
I think it's
They
way.
they don't have any children. They're not thinking about coming back, and they're black.
Mhm. I just think I don't how I feel now being here, I don't want to live my whole life like this
Mm-hmm.
because this country makes sure that I live this life for the rest of my life and move on to my kids. Like my parents, they never thought about owning land and thinking about the future and
Mm-hmm.
buy they couldn't afford it to get land to create generational wealth cuz living paycheck to paycheck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my parents know now how important that is now. Um, but even when you own things, they still try to find ways to take it away from
Mm-hmm.
you. And I'm sure a lot of us, like, we probably own some land. They just took it away from our family
Mm-hmm.
because there was some point in time where some of the slave owners, the enslaved, the owners, they depending on how I don't know, some were gracious that they did sign some type of document saying they got this amount of land, but that was rare.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know in Georgia, in Moultrie, we were supposed to get land. I forget how many acres or whatever, but it was taken and it was like I think 10 years ago we were able to get our land back. And so there is a small town where some of the stuff is named after my family.
Mm.
But took a long process.
Mm-hmm.
A long process because if you don't have that documentation or anything like that, or no proof,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And that was another thing. We weren't able to read or nothing. So and all the documentation we did have, it's gone. It's destroyed. Um,
And
let's see, Sweden for me or UK, but they fool. Yeah. I don't want to go to a colder place. Yeah. Definitely not the UK. Yeah, I don't want to go to the UK.
mm-mm.
Mm-mm. I heard it's not that great in the UK.
Mm-hmm. It's like living here.
Yeah. Mhm. Hell no. I know people in Mexico will not come back to USA. Man,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't go to Mexico though either. I've noticed that a lot of especially black couples and stuff have been getting kidnapped. And that's really weird. like out of nowhere. Like I know another couple, they are they're missing and they went to Haiti.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
I know, like, and in Mexico, some I know they were captured by the cartel, but the people that
But
did that, yeah, it's weird.
also,
It's weird how all this.
also someone that I know who is from Haiti, she won't go back home.
Mhm.
I mean, she's lived here long enough. She's a citizen, but
Mhm.
she won't go back home for like deaths or anything like that to visit family. But she said it's not safe. She said her family has told her it's not safe for you to come back. Can you imagine
Mm,
that you can't go back to your home because it's not safe?
yeah.
Which to me is a tragedy within itself.
Mm-mm. Presently, we cannot enter Mexico for simple procedures without being targeted by the cartel. Yeah, that happened. What? Was it
Two
February?
weeks
No.
ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Whether one plans to leave or not, all Black people should make sure to get a passport.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta renew mine.
I have a passport, but mine expires 2025, so I'm good for a few
Yeah,
more years.
I gotta renew mine.
Yeah, I need it. My husband lost his. I'm like, how do you lose your passport? What's wrong with you? So we have to get him one, and I'm also thinking about getting my kids theirs too.
Mhm.
I have family there now and friends who go every month. Chill your, chill your pocket out your pocket. Oh my god. Truth is facts. Mm, yeah, they probably. I mean, who knows? They probably are saying they don't want us to go out there no more.
I
But
know somebody who's living out there now, and she and
yeah,
her husband are having no problems.
yeah,
So I just think it depends on where you go.
yeah, like my best friend, they're in Mexico now, for her birthday and stuff. So and she's having a ball. So
Hmm.
I think it depends on where you are, where you go
Hmm.
at this point. There is a whole community of Black people in Mexico. I incident in years. Chill. One incident. I have to get a passport this year. Yep, definitely get a passport.
They're backed up, so make sure you get it done way before your trip, because they had a whole thing about how backed up they are.
Man,
Like weeks, like 13 weeks. I mean, they're backed up. Even the expedited is backed up.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff backed up.
Hmm.
A
And
lot of
that has to do with the fact that, which made sense, that during the pandemic, they moved people around or let go people because people weren't traveling. And now people are starting to travel again, and then they got to rehire those people back, or, get more people to help with, the process of the passports.
yeah,
So,
that's true. It's like any place. It really depends on where you are. Yeah,
hmm
depends on where you are. I don't know where the couple and their friend went when that incident happened. I have no idea.
literally, they said where they crossed was where they specifically told Americans do not cross here, and they crossed there.
Okay, then. So
They said do not
do
cross there.
not do it. So you didn't follow. instru-
Directions. Hmm.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yep, it's all about where you go. I
Hmm.
saw that. I have to work on it. Yeah, yeah. It's all about where you go. Um, it's just I'm glad I'm starting to read 1619 Project. I was actually scared to read it only because I knew it would tear me apart.
Hmm.
But I'm glad it is because it's like a wake up call about this country and how and where it's going right now. Um, and it's sad that this book is banned in certain states already.
Hmm. Yeah.
Already. And I don't like they say that they are banning these books or whatever and it's getting rid of African American studies because they don't want they feel like they we want their kids to feel bad about the past of their the people. And I was like, no one said anything about making sure
Hmm.
you feel bad.
No one.
It's
Y'all making up stuff now.
not about that. It's
Uh,
not about you. Why are
uh,
you making it about
oh,
you?
you and you too.
No, it's about the actual facts of this country,
Mm-hmm.
the country we live in, how it's run today. Why does it have to be hidden away or buried? If you really are embarrassed, how about you fix the mistakes that were made? Because if you felt bad, you feel guilty. I, I don't understand people. I don't. I don't. If that if that was the case, I would damn sure say nothing with Christopher Columbus should be taught to my child.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't discover none.
No, he didn't discover shit.
No.
Not one thing.
Mm-mm.
People were already here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then what he did to all the indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that's appropriate to be taught?
Mm.
Like, I'm confused.
Make it make sense.
I'm confused.
Make it make sense.
This country is so backwards. So it's on them. Yep. Incidences involving black folk hits mainstream news. It happens. Travel where you want, but know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got a warning. I didn't even know.
Anywhere that you go in the world, that includes the United States, you need to be aware.
I that's the
You
one
need
thing.
to be
Like,
aware.
always having that awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go, I it's like when you're like, okay, if you're driving, you have to drive defensively and you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of where you go on a regular basis. Yeah, like I live in Ohio, but I know where I don't need to be in a certain day and
Mm-hmm.
time. I know
Mm-hmm.
where I'm not safe. I know. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody gives me a heads up about something, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for giving me that heads up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to intentionally not listen to this person.
Mm.
And then,
I remember going to Cabo and my father driving me and my girlfriends to the airport and proceeding to tell us about all the articles that he read in the New York Times about how it's not safe. He said, "I'm gonna be praying for y'all." You know, Agent didn't listen to me. She was stressing that she wanted to go,
mhm,
and so and I had warned them ahead of time. I said, "He's going to be telling you." They said, "It's okay."
mhm,
We get there, we start telling the the guy there. We when we were at security, we were telling the guy there, and he said, "This is Cabo. We have undercover people in the clubs." He said, "You all are going straight to the resort," and we said, "Yeah." He said, "Stay at the
I'll be
resort.
staying at the
You know,
resort.
go and see a few properties if you want." He said, "But if you go off of the resort and go to like a club or whatever," he said, "we have people there." He said, "Because all the money that's coming in, we're not trying for that money not to come in." He
Mm,
said, "Mm-mm." He said, "We don't have those issues here." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." Now this was a few years ago,
mhm,
but I thought it was interesting that he said, "Mm-mm, we don't have those issues here. There are issues, but not those types of issues here."
mhm.
So it's like, okay, but I mean, how many people? I mean, even when I was in college, I knew I put my drink down and I walked away. That's no longer my drink.
Mm-mm, If y'all
That's
walk
no longer
away,
my drink.
nope.
No
Somebody
longer my drink
put
because
something
somebody
in
can put something in your drink
there.
and then you're either passed out or you're never the same.
Mhm.
Never the same. Not the same for a couple hours, but never the same.
Just have some
So,
common sense.
mm-mm,
Know your surroundings. When you want
mm-hmm,
to visit something, obviously you want to do some research up on it, you know?
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Dumbasses. Lies make questions, truth encourages them.
Mm-hmm.
True. Christopher Walken discovered about as much as Christopher Columbus did. things, we need to get a seat at the table and force change. Education is power, because the opportunity or invite to that table sure ain't coming easily. We need candidates. That's another thing. A lot of the candidates we had back then, they made sure they wouldn't be living today.
Hmm. But even when you are sitting at that table, if you had the opportunity like I did to sit at such a table and
Mhm.
be the only one, you make sure that your voice is heard and not be
Mhm.
quiet.
Yeah,
And you'll have allies, but don't be afraid to stand by yourself.
yeah,
And I'm saying that from experience.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's true. I feel like when you're by yourself, you do feel like you have to be like, so you have that like, oh, I need to just
Hmm.
be quiet.
And especially if, like, for me, I was the first.
Hmm. Yeah,
So yeah.
we got to be able to take that leap of faith
Hmm.
and realize the power that we have with our voice.
Hmm.
And then we just all need to find a way to come together. But first, we gotta put ourselves together because we've all been broken so much and been through a lot
Hmm.
where we don't know how to put the pieces back together. And some pieces are probably lost because a lot of our history, our family, and the ancestors, all that's gone. That's lost.
Hmm.
All of that is lost. They made sure that we had no type of record of it. They're still unmarked graves.
And then we used to be great storytellers, telling stories from one generation to the next, and we lost that. We
Hmm.
stopped telling our stories to the people that came after us.
Yeah. We have to start with us.
Hmm. Can't wait for somebody else to do it.
No. And to start with you, and probably it's going to be a painful journey.
Hmm.
It's not. It's not going to be easy.
Hmm.
It's not. And I'm saying this because I'm really trying to put pieces back together for me and my family and stuff that has affected my family for like generations that we're still doing today with these family secrets
Hmm.
and stuff.
Hmm.
Like, I was just talking to my family the other day, and I'm like, we need to talk, we need to have a discussion. And when we were talking, of course, people were not telling the truth. I'm like, we're not gonna be here trying to sugarcoat nothing. Say it out in the open. No more
Hmm.
secrets.
Yeah.
Be real. Because if you keep doing this, it's just gonna be passed down. All these cycles are gonna continue happening. It's just you gotta break the cycle. We got to. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we touched on
So
chapter.
many things. Yeah.
We were jumping, but we pretty much
Hmm.
covered all through chapter 3.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm trying to think on what else that we didn't really touch on. Let's see. We are
It's
in a
hard
tricky.
for me to say when I don't have. I need the physical.
Yeah, it talks about, yep, electoral fraud. We talked about that.
Hmm.
Still a thing today.
Hmm.
We are in a tricky situation because we are witnessing the end of the American Empire. So anything we do is basically demanding better accommodations on the Titanic while it's sinking. Mm, mm, mm. Man, think if let me know in the chat if we miss anything because I feel like topics and stuff we were talking about it was within these first 3 chapters.
Hmm.
Let's see. I listened to the audiobook, but I had to break down and purchase a physical book for this one.
Yeah, that's the same thing I've been saying. That's
Yeah.
the same thing I've been saying. I have to do it this weekend because it's not enough. I need to annotate.
Yeah. And I was like, I was just telling Adrian before the live, it's like, I definitely am going to keep this book forever. And I definitely want my kids to have it because who
Mm-hmm.
knows if this book will exist after the next few
Mm-hmm.
years.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know?
pass it down to my niece. It's
Yeah.
just something.
Like I've annotated it, and when my kids read it, or when if they're willing to read it,
Mm-hmm.
if they're motivated to read it, that they will see my notes and everything that I put down in this book, and they can do the same in what they
Mm-hmm.
read, um, to let them know everything. And they researched the crap out of this book. Like they did
Mm-hmm.
their research. They did. And I'm glad they took their time to do it and do it the right way. And I'm glad that it's also they made it on Hulu too, which I haven't finished watching it yet either. Um, but I probably end up watching. No, I need to get my mind a break because I read this
Mm-hmm.
today. But I probably will watch it.
After I
Probably,
finish reading the book,
yeah. I
I'd
just,
rather just read the whole thing first before I even look at the visual.
yeah, like
In
the
this case.
right and the poems and stuff before each chapter. I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'll get the book tomorrow and get caught up. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did the opposite. I bought the ebook and then bought the audiobook yesterday. Okay. I was worried I wouldn't finish it in time. I was worried too. But I was like, I read some of it last night and then I read the rest right after I got off of work. Um,
I got off of. We got out of work early today, so I was able to listen to it, and I was like, "Brandy, when do I stop?" Okay,
yeah, it's
got
just
it. I said, "Well, I just finished the preface, so I'm on the roll." All right.
yeah, yeah. I was like, you just up to all the way through chapter 3. I love the introductions before the chapters. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mhm. I
Yeah, they
did.
set the scene.
Mhm. And make it sort of prepares you for what you're
Yeah,
about to
sort
read.
of.
Yeah, sort of, but it
Mm-hmm.
gives you some type of like, hey, this is this, and this was the year. So yeah, I like how some of what was happening in the Caribbean and Brazil was included in the book. I'm curious to see if more will be included. I think there will be more included.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they touched up on that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Because that's a part of it too.
Mhm. It is. And like in the history books we have here, they don't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
They
The
don't.
slave trade and all that. Yeah.
They don't really bring it up. They'll touch like a little bit, like for a second, and then step away.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mention it or nothing else of it. But I think that's it. We've been at it for like a good hour and a half.
Yeah, that's good discussion.
Yeah, it was really good. It's just now I just like, okay, I need to watch something funny because I'm like sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because of everything that our ancestors and the people that Bree calling me, y'all. Hello, you on speaker? Do I need to take you off?
Where's the sprint?
I knew it.
Are you gonna end this and then start something else?
No, I am mentally drained.
Right now.
I am mentally drained.
This is an abomination. This is black on black crime.
I'm done.
I cannot believe you. It's Friday. Don't end on this sad note.
I'm going. My mind needs to rest. I just
Your mind.
Yes, because I read some words in this book that got me all over the place with my emotions. One moment I am freaking pissed. The next moment I'm sad.
Let's talk about it during the sprint.
How you can do them?
No, thank you.
You can do it. You see what
that's all I want. I just wanted to bother you, honestly.
You see what I go through, y'all? See what I go through, y'all? This is crazy.
I miss you so much.
She even sounds better.
Well, she's better, y'all. She's 100% better.
Yeah,
She be coming
that
for
took a
people.
while to get rid of that infection.
Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling better. You sound so much better.
Yeah. I've never experienced that before and don't plan on experiencing that
again. Yeah.
Weeks to kick. But yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Well, I miss you guys.
She is. Neva is having her 24-hour sprints right now.
Neva's having her sprints.
Yeah. I know, but I want to be with Black women, strong Black women. So I'll just wait for your sprints on Sunday. Or
why are you signing me up for sprints? Sunday is what, April? Sunday is April 2nd. So you're off your month break of reading sprints.
I am off my month break.
So you
have your sprints Sunday morning. Then I'll be there.
Nah.
That's how that works.
No, I'll see you in your sprints. Just send me the link.
Me too.
Just send me the link.
Fine. Well, I tried, guys. So,
she tried.
I tried.
She tried it.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
No, she's hilarious. I love her though. When is the live discussion for Babel? Good question, Lacey's. I always do it. I usually give everyone a week, to read it. So they have. So I was gonna say, I was gonna say the 9th, but I mean I can always do it this Sunday. But I try to give y'all that extra week to read it. But I was gonna do it. Wait, not the 9th. What am I talking about? Yeah, the 9th. That's Sunday. Yeah, I'm sleepy. So I was thinking about the 9th, but you let me know. So you get some to finish it. I finished it 2 nights ago, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It blew my mind.
The 9th is Easter. So.
Oh, nope, not 9th then. Okay. Maybe I'll make it. Then I'll probably move it to this Sunday then. Start twerk, please.
Or did you want to do it on a Saturday?
Saturday
not good.
Yeah, Saturday.
I mean, not tomorrow. I was talking about the 8th.
Saturday is not good because not the 8th because Kiana is going to a birthday party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm almost finished. Okay, then I'll maybe I can have it during the week next week in the evening. I'll do it that way. So I'll still give you that little. So what's happening on Wednesday? So the 5th, we can do the 5th, which is on a Wednesday, and I'll have it in the evening.
Okay. That works for me.
Yeah. So let me do this real quick. Tuesday. No. We'll do it. Wait, Tuesday. Why? Wait. Why Tuesday? Are you sprinting Wednesday? Okay. Okay, Wednesday. Okay, I'm about to say, are you sprinting? Because then I'll definitely do it. Okay. So yeah, I'll make sure. Start probably like we'll say 7:30 or something like that. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. On Wednesday. Yep.
Yeah. A week from when dang, I'm not gonna have time to read Babel. Sorry. You actually you probably are reading other stuff. That's probably why, because I forgot that was Easter. But yeah, it's gonna be Wednesday. I mean, if you do start Babel, I mean, you should definitely finish it way before Wednesday. If you do start it, but I know you probably are reading something else right now. I think my comic book club is on Wednesday. I have to confirm. Okay, confirm with me. Let me know, because then I could either other day I could either do it Wednesday, or I can do it Thursday, but it'll be later. Why not? Yeah, I could also do. Actually, I can do it Thursday if you have a comic book club. I'll make sure everybody's available.
I'm available on Thursday too. Check.
Okay. All right. So Elise's, how about this? I'll just move it to Thursday for the 6th. Yep. See, even Jessica said we have comic book club. Yep. So I'm gonna move it to the 6th. Yep. Okay. They have live so Wednesday. All right. Yep. Thursday confirmed. 7:30. Because Kiana doesn't have her.
That's right. I forgot about that. Live discussion is going to be Wednesday.
Yeah. So I'll do it. We'll do it Thursday. Because Kiana doesn't have gymnastics due to spring break or whatever. So the 6th at 7:30. Thursday is my discussion for Clay's art. What? Damn it. Okay. Let's just do Friday then. What's everybody doing Friday? What's everybody doing Friday? Yes, I'll try to read it this Sunday.
You can do like the first and still do sprints. You can do like the first hour and a half, talk about Babel, and then sprints afterwards.
Yeah.
So you know someone is going to be like sprints.
Yeah. So yeah, I could do that. So then on Friday, we'll do it Friday. No, wait, what you say, Bree? It's fine. We can do it together. There's room for both of us. Wait, what? I'm so lost now.
To do two things. So Clay's arc first or Babel first.
What time? That's the other thing with the times, because I could always just move it to Friday. It's no problem. And then I can, after we do the live discussion for Babel, then I could do sprints. Because I only do at least an hour of discussion. I try not to do over unless it's really, really good, just like the 1619 project.
Like this time.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. So I'm just gonna say Friday because I want to just focus, because on Thursday just focus on your discussion. Okay, let me see. You can do your discussion Thursday. I'll be in the comments no matter what. No, I'm moving it to Friday. Easier that way. I hope Friday works for everybody. And then D, you'll have plenty of time to read Babel because the live discussion will be Friday, next Friday.
And welcome, D.
Yes. Yes. So, all right, Friday. All right, I'm officially saying it is locked down. Friday for a live discussion for Babel and then reading sprints. All right. I hope it sounds good to everybody. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this discussion. I had a great time, even though there's a lot of sad stuff, but it's reality and it's history that we have to even face ourselves, and try to make change as best as we can, and think of ways to just try to not only fix ourselves but our community, because our community is hurting. And once our community finds that time of healing, then I feel like we can fight the fight for what we want. But thank you all for coming. I will see y'all later. Y'all know y'all have the live discussion for Clay's Arc, which that's a book I need to read before the discussion. Because and then we have
me too.
And then we need to, when is I know Bree, you have a schedule with Zora for Jonah's Gourd. I'm trying to remember the schedule, and I don't know where my notes are in my phone.
Hold on. Should I have that here?
I'm like,
I'm way behind on that too.
Did I erase my notes? Okay, cool. Sorry, mini tornado. Oh God, a mini tornado came through and knocked out the lights. And oh my God, are you okay?
Where?
Be safe. Be safe. Oh my God, a mini tornado. That's crazy.
Oh no.
Be safe, Elise's.
Please.
Next Saturday.
Oh, I didn't have the date for that.
So for this is next Saturday, Brie.
Okay, so the 10th. Okay. No, the 8th.
Wait, April. Wait.
8th. April 8th.
Oh God. Okay, so it's the 8th. Okay. All right, so Saturday. Okay, you're right. It's the 8th. Ooh, I'm like, what the fuck? I knew I had it. Okay, but thank you. So We have the discussion for Clay's arc next week. And then, on Friday, we'll have the live discussion for Babel and then reading sprints. And then Saturday on the 8th, we'll have the live discussion for Jonas Gordvine. So we have a packed week next week. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I had to run upstairs and get my grandmother. Oh, my God. Please be careful.
Oh, I hope she's
The
okay.
building shook. Please.
Oh, no.
Please be careful.
Yeah, please keep us, if you can, let us know how you all are doing.
Right. Midwest is going through it this weekend. Please be safe.
Yeah.
What the? Hold on. Because I didn't skip. So we're going.
Somebody said something, but
right
they
now.
live in Arkansas. The person that I know lives in Arkansas. They mark themselves as being safe.
Yeah, I know. Here we're just getting a lot of rain and thunder, and then it's
Yeah, we're
supposed to be,
getting the rain tomorrow.
yeah, it's supposed to be like really, really windy tomorrow. Good discussion for sure. Oh, thank you, D. Correct pack week. Everyone be there. Right. Everyone be there. You got comic book club. You got all that happening. Oh, I thought Clay's arc was for the following week. Is it for the following week? I don't know. I'm so confused. Oh no, don't be confused. Hold on. Think Braden, you have the schedule on your IG, right? For Octavia. Oh, okay. I lied. Clay's arc is 413. Zora is 48. Okay. So that's 13. And then
So what?
So for Zora, for us, it's still Saturday. But then for Clay's arc, the live discussion for that is going to be the 13th, which is on a Thursday. So that's the following week. Yeah, I was right. Phew. Sorry, everyone. It's okay. There's so many dates.
I got more time to read that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably gonna focus on reading this, and then I have a lot to do, and then I reading a manga.
So Friday the 14th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll get that popping off. But all right, we're going to end it officially. Thank you all for coming to this live discussion. We're on the same page. Yes, I love it. We're on the same page. But thank you for coming to this live discussion. I really do appreciate it. I was nervous at first doing this, but I was like, I need to do it. Well, it's about to be April. So next month, close to the end of April, we're going to cover chapters 4 through chapter 7. So that'll be our next live discussion. So yeah, we're doing it at the end of each month. But thank you all once again for coming, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Please stay safe.